Yes, guys. Good evening and welcome to CCNA. My name is Dhananjay Patankar. You can call me DJ, right? If you wish. And my screen is shared. And we are going to have a wonderful foundation for networking, right? So if anybody is non-technical, also not an issue. Any BCom guy, BA guy, right? Having no knowledge about anything, just working knowledge about the laptop, right? That is also enough, right? If you can just handle the keyboard. Right? So we can become network engineers, not an issue, not at all. So this is my guarantee that you will be able to understand everything. We have lots of thing in this course, wonderful course, one of the best course in the world, Cisco Certified Network Associate, which will make you a network engineer, right? And this is your stepping stone. If a non-IT guy wants to get into IT, yeah, you can begin with CCNA course. It covers a lot of fundamental things, right? It lays a very strong foundation, lot of topics, right? Primarily, we'll learn how to configure Cisco routers or routers, whatever you call it, right? In the West, they will call it routers, right? We call it routers. It's the same thing. Routers and Cisco switches, right? Primarily, these two networking devices. Okay. We'll learn what are the components of these devices, what is the booting up sequence, right? How to configure it, and how to make a LAN, WAN, how to verify, how to troubleshoot, all these things, right? We are going to work on CLI, which means command line interface, right? Which means we are going to give commands to these networking devices, maybe a router or a switch, right? One command in one line, right? And later on, when we get into automation, we'll see how through automation, right? Through controllers, Cisco's Catalyst controllers, right? How we are going to automate the configuration of all these devices, right? Then we are not going to give commands line by line. In automation, we'll be looking at artificial intelligence and machine learning also, right? Which are the latest topics, right? The world is looking at. And apart from that, basically all fundamentals about networking, right? So if you don't know anything, that's also that's also okay because we are going to begin from scratch. Scratch means A, B, C, D, right? Right from zero. So nothing to worry. If somebody says, I don't understand anything about IT, that's also well and good. Nothing to worry. We'll be covering up everything. Okay. Okay. Lenovo has entered. Okay. So we'll be looking at so many things, security fundamentals, right? And then automation fundamentals. We'll be looking at wireless fundamentals, wireless security. We will be configuring a wireless LAN controller also, right? In GUI, right? Through web console, right? We'll look at many things. And let me show you the official course curriculum, right? The exam number is 200-301, 200-301. I'll give you a lot of these details, lot of resources, everything, right, that you need to manage this course, right? Uh, Let me open up the Google Chrome and let's go and see. I hope my screen is visible to everybody. Just go on Google search and type CCNA topics, right? CCNA topics. That's it. And the first link that you get is Cisco Learning Network, right? Open this link, right? Come to CCNA exam topics, click on it, and look at this. This is the exam number, right? 200-301. And this is a 2 hours exam, and the passing percentage is around 85%. Of the 1,000, we require 849 or something marks like this. And look at, these are the bigger topics, right? The whole course has been divided into 6 sections: 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot, 6 dot, right? And the percentage on the right tells what percentage of the weightage, right? From this first topic, network fundamentals, you can expect 20% in the exam, right? Topics. And likewise, in the network access, from this second topic, you can expect 20%, and the third one, IP connectivity, 25%, IP services, 10%, security fundamentals, 15%, and finally, automation and programmability, 10%. Okay. So look at the right drop-down menu, right? If you want to have details, you can go down and download complete list of this, right? In the PDF format. Just click on this, download the whole topics, and look at this. Go on this drop-down menu. Yeah, I'm clicking on this. So now you will get what is contained, what is covered in this network fundamentals section topic 1, right? So we will be covering up every single thing, and we are not going to leave anything from here, right? Okay. So it says first one is explain the role, and okay, Jesse Pinkman is also here. Okay, guys. So welcome, guys, those who are late. Lenovo, good evening and welcome. Can you hear me? Sishir, good evening and welcome. Can you hear me? Jesse Pinkman, can you hear me? Good evening and welcome.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Your first name is Jesse?
No. It's actually the name I forgot to change.
Okay.
My name is Arunlal.
Arunlal. Arun?
Yeah. Arunlal.
Arunlal. Okay, wonderful, Arunlal. Welcome.
Uh,
Okay, no problem. So Arunlal is better than Jesse Pinkman. Okay, more familiar and used to. Anyway, and what about Lenovo? Lenovo, I can't see your mic anyway. So welcome, guys. We are just discussing the topics that is to be covered in the exam, right? So just go to Google search and type CCNA topics, right? You will come here, and these are all the topics, right, that we are going to cover, right? All these things. So we'll look at this, right? So many things here. IPv4 addressing and subnetting, right? A big topic and very important, and it's going to consume a lot of time also. Likewise, we have IPv6 addressing and configurations, right? We'll look at IPv4 routing protocols. We will cover IPv6 routing protocols, right? And all details in that, right? And of course, we'll be looking at some wireless fundamentals and security and configurations. We'll be looking at virtualization and cloud also, right? So many things. We'll be looking at switching in detail. So what is the switching and what are VLANs and why do we require VLANs and what are multiple VLANs and how do you assign ports to VLANs and what is port security and what is the meaning of spanning tree protocol and what is PVST and RSTP and what are ether channels and so many things, right, in switching. So that will eat away a week, right? And then we'll be looking at more topics like network access. So yeah, we'll be looking at trunking. Inside the switching only, we'll be looking at 802.1q and trunking and what is the meaning of native VLANs and ether channels and layer 2 and layer 3 and a lot of labs. And we'll be also looking at CDP and LLDP. What are these protocols, right? What is the usage? Why do we use it? What's the advantage? Many things, many things. And all details about switching, right? BPDU guard and BPDU filter and STP and whatnot. And we'll be also looking at a lot of wireless architectures and access point modes. And then we'll be looking at what is Telnet and SSH and HTTPS and HTTP and console and TACAX and Radius and all this cloud, basically network management access, right? So how do we access the device, router or switch, and how do we start configuring it, right? So we'll be doing some lab also in GUI, wherein we'll be configuring a wireless LAN controller. We'll be taking a couple of access points, wireless devices, or a server, DHCP server, a router, a switch, and we'll make a nice lab. And through GUI, we'll be configuring the wireless LAN controller, right? And third topic says IP connectivity. So herein we'll be looking at static routing and default routing and right, dynamic routing protocols and what is AD and what is administrative distance and what is the metric, what is the meaning of longest prefix mag, so many things, right? Don't worry. But don't worry, it's all, I'm going to make it very easy for you guys, right? It's going to be fun. We are going to enjoy this course, okay? Just be with me. If any doubts or questions, please ask, okay? And we'll be looking at open shortest path first. In that also a lot of details, right? Single area, what is DR, what is BDR, whatnot. So don't worry, everything will be covered fully. We'll also be looking at some first hop redundancy protocols like HSRP, right? And I'll give you more details as and when we go by. And again, we'll be looking at what is NATPAT and what is NTP, right? network time protocols, and DHCP we are going to do labs also, right? And DNS and SNMP and syslog and DS whatnot, right? So many things, thousands of things there, right? And this is a wonderful course. It's going to make a wonderful foundation. I don't go very fast. Of course, we can't go very slow. We have to finish the course in approximately 2 months, right? Given that we have 1.5 hours and 5 days a week, right? 1.5 hours per day. And we'll be looking at this again, very important topic, quality of service, right? Some of the things will be in theory, and some of the things where it says explain, right, or describe, right, that will be in theory, right? And wherever it says configure, that means we'll have to go deep. We'll understand not only the theory, but we'll have to do practical and also do verification and troubleshooting, right? So we'll understand, go deep. And likewise, in security fundamentals, so many more topics that we'll be covering, right? IPsec, VPNs, site-to-site VPNs, and many more things about security, right? Threats and vulnerabilities and exploits and mitigation techniques and whatnot. Okay. And again, very, very important things. This is such a nice foundation that when you get into advanced courses like CCNP and CCIE, all these things will be used there also. So if your fundamentals are clear here only, when you go get into advanced courses, you'll have no doubts. You'll have full confidence. Once you finish this course, of course, after finishing the course, we have to read a lot, right? Do a lot of practice on the labs. But we are always there. The whole team is always there, our company, right? We have a wonderful LMS. The recordings will be provided to you, right? Full support will be provided to you, whatever you just ask, right? I am. We are on WhatsApp. Any doubts, any problems, you can call me. You can WhatsApp me. I'm there to help you guys. Everybody is here. The whole team is a wonderful team at our NSGT, right? And you guys have made a very smart decision. You have taken a very smart decision, right? Compared to the money that you are paying here, it's peanuts. Believe me, these is peanuts. I had done this course 22 years ago from Hong Kong and Sydney and Melbourne, Australia. I had to pay 1 lakh rupees for this course, only this course. Of course, I did many more courses, but this course was only 5 days, 9 to 5. And I had to pay them 1 lakh rupees in dollars, right, in Hong Kong. And whenever I was in Australia, so for more courses. But they are professionals. They will just go ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4 and no questions, right? Here we go the other way around, right? They don't say, did you understand anything, right? You want me to repeat any theory, practical? No, because they are Cisco trainers. They are super experts. I also have got 22 years of training experience. I had wonderful inputs from Cisco directly, as I said, from Hong Kong and Australia. So for 11 months, I was outside in the year 2001, 2002, right? And I had a wonderful training from Cisco authorized. But in India, we don't have Cisco authorized training centers only, right? So I was a lucky guy. I somehow got to attend it from all the Cisco authorized training partners. But don't worry, because now I got 22 years of training experience. I have done a lot of training, right, including in India, abroad, corporate trainings, and all kinds of training, right, online, offline. So we'll meet in CCNP also, and you will get excellent trainers for CCI also, whether I am there or not. When you get into multiple courses from our academy, all the trainers are very experienced, they are very professional, they are very good, right? Today being the first day, I'm just taking some time because once we start with technical topics, right? Obviously, right? It will be all technical. And so security fundamentals, a lot of things will be covered here, right? At this access control list, Seychelles is facing some problem, network issues. Access control is again a very important topic, right? VPNs, understanding VPN basics right here is very important because when we get into the next courses, we'll be doing the labs there, right? And DHCP, all these security things. What is DHCP snooping? What are DHCP attacks, right? What is dynamic? What is ARP, address resolution protocol? What is how ARP tables are poisoned, right? What are these attacks? How can you stop them? So we'll be doing a lot of labs on DHCP snooping and ARP inspection. I mean, overall, there are a lot of labs, right? A lot of labs. You will be enjoying also listening to the theory and also doing the labs, both the things. It's a blend, right? So because fundamental theory is also important, and only theory without practical is also of no use. So we need to understand both, right? The theory, the fundamentals, the protocols, the basics, and the configurations. And we'll be looking at also this AAA server, also known as authentication, authorization, accounting servers, right? And of course, wireless. We'll be looking at security protocols. And then finally, we have automation and programmability, right? Herein also, we'll look at many more things like what's overlay and what's underlay and what's fabric and what's the meaning of northbound APIs and southbound APIs and REST APIs and artificial intelligence and machine learning, right? Ansible and Terraform and what is JSON. So many things. Look at this, explain AI, generative and predictive and machine learning. So these are all the topics that Cisco wants you to know for this exam, right? 200-301 CCNA version 1.1. Okay. So I'll tell you about the resources also. And shortly, I will take you into the configurations, right? I'll tell you how to start configuring all these routers and switches. Okay. So if you talk of the resources, right? So you can, this is CCNA, Cisco Certified Network Associate. I hope everybody, many of you may have done it earlier, right? But if there are any fill in the blanks, it will be taken care of, right? You may be knowing many things, but now we are going to get into practicals also. And if any doubts, it will be cleared, right? So there are books from Cisco Press. You can buy them, right? Cisco Press. This is, the author is Wendell Odom, right? Wendell Odom, right? You can go on Amazon or wherever, right? You can buy them. And there's volume 1 and volume 2, right? Two books you have to go. And I'll tell you about Cisco Learning Network, right? You can go on this site and explore a lot of free videos and material and everything is available here. Also, you can go on net. Also, you can go also on Cisco U, right? Cisco U. And there are a lot of resources there also. Some are free, some are paid. Also, you can go on netacad.com, right? Netacad.com. From here, you can download a software known as Packet Tracer, right? How many of you are using already the Packet Tracer, right? Yes, guys. How many of you all are already using Packet Tracer? Anybody? Right? Okay. Shishir, are you using it? Packet Tracer? Venki? Vinayaka? And Lino, I'll call Lino right now. Okay. And of course, Jesse for now. Okay. So, yeah. So if you're using it, well and good. If you're not, I'll tell you what to do, right? Okay. Shishir says, I've used it. Very good. Shishir, wonderful. So we'll have to also give the introduction to everybody else, right? I'll take up the basic commands, right? So how you configure it, right? So I think you will shortly get access to a video around 20 minutes video, right? And therein, you just watch that video and you can download Packet Tracer, right? Free of cost. You just have to enroll yourself on cisco.com. Just go to cisco.com and go to netacad.com, right? And just register yourself, right? You create a login credential, right? And then from there, you can watch that 20 minutes video, which I have created, and you will be able to download. If you have any issues, let me know. But by the way, this is the packet tracer, right? Down below, this envelope sort of thing. This is packet tracer, right? So I'm trying to open this packet tracer. Okay. So Cisco Packet Tracer. This is a free tool. It's a wonderful tool, right? We can do all our labs here. Okay. This is how your Cisco Packet Tracer is. And look here down below on the left, right? So can you see this first one is already clicked? So it says network devices, right? Network devices. Okay. So down below, look, router has been selected, right? This round one is the icon of a router, right? And this one, look at the second one from the left at the bottom left corner. This is the icon of a switch, right? So you have 2960 switch here, you have 3560, whatever, 3650, 3560, whatever. multiple switches here, right? These are 2960 is a layer 2 switch. See, I'm just dragging and dropping it, right? This 3550, 560, whatever. This is a multi-layer switch. I'll tell you what is a layer 2 switch, what's a layer 3 switch, right? Everything in detail. And this is the router. So if I want, I can pick a router also, right? So just in case, we'll use this later on. But for now, I just drag the router. I just drag the switch. If you want end users, click here on the end devices and you can pick a PC from here. Or if you want multiple PCs, so again I go back and I drag and drop this. But if I want multiple, again one third PC, I have to go down and bring it up, right? So instead what I can do is press Control. Now I press Control, right? And then click on the PC. Now you can, without going down again and selecting, you can have as many devices as you want in one shot, right? Now you can press Escape, right? Or go on this above logical, the rectangle here. See that on the top left, select Escape, right? You can click here or press Escape to get your cursor back. Now I want to connect this. If I want to delete some devices, what I'll do is I'll click here in the open space. I'll click here and you can start deleting these devices. Or alternatively, I can press Escape and I can select multiple devices and then I can click here on the cross. Look at the top left, delete, right? Can click this and it will delete all these items. Okay. And now I want to connect them. So look, I'm going on this amber electric symbol, right? Down below on the left. Can you see everybody? And please talk to me, right? Let's make it full duplex. I want people who can talk to me. So you give me a response, right? Because don't be silent, right? Talk to me because I love people who talk to me, right? And also give me response quickly. Okay. So if I ask you questions, feel free to quickly give me a response. Yes, no, whatever, right? Whatever it is. Even if I say, hello guys, can you hear me? Good evening, everything, right? So whatever it is, but if you keep it full duplex means what? Two-way communication. Half duplex means what? Only one way. So only I am talking and you guys are not talking at all, right? But in the case of any questions or queries that I ask, it will be good, right? If you also respond quickly. Now look, I will click on this electric symbol. So, and I'll give you more details later on. Look at the first one. It says automatic. Automatically choose connection type. Okay. So this is what's the second one? The blue one, it says a console cable. Okay. What's the third one? It says a copper straight through. Okay, it's a straight through cable. This one is a crossover cable, right? These are copper cables. Okay. So now we'll get into details later on. For now, I'm going to press Control and I'm going to click on this auto cable, right? So if you don't know which cable to connect where, straight through, rollover, crossover, so automatically select the auto cable and I'll give you more details later on, right? I just left my cursor on the router, so it's giving me some details. Okay, I'll click on the router and I'll click on the switch. Okay, so it is automatically taken the some selected some lowest port, gigabit 000 on the router and fast it is 0/1 lowest ports, right? And again, I'm going to click on the switch and I'm going to click on the PC. Again on the PC or switch or PC, whatever, right? So this is the way I connect it. Now I can press escape and get my cursor back, right? Now if I just leave my cursor on this guy router, the round one is the icon of a router, this one, right? And the rectangle one is a switch, okay? So I just leave my cursor here. So it is giving me some detail, right? The default name of the router is router from the factory, right? It's telling you what device model it is. It is ISR 4331. We don't have to remember anything, right? Don't worry. It's an integrated services router. Integrated means it can forward voice, video, data, everything, right? It can perform a lot of functions. And that's the model 4331. That's okay. Don't remember, forget it. Host name is router by default. Later on, we can give any host name that we want, monkey, donkey, or R1, R2, or CCNA, PCNA, whatever, right? Or DJ, my name, or Dhananjay, whatever, right? So we can change the name. And what more? So look, it has got 3 gigabit Ethernet ports, right? 0/0/0, 0/0/1, 0/0/2. And look, link is down. VLAN, there's nothing here. IP address, right? We have not given any IP address to any port. And IPv6 addresses also we have not given. IP means IP version 4. IPv6 is, of course, the next version. And look at the MAC addresses. Every physical port has got a MAC address, right? So we'll get into details later on, nothing to worry. And likewise, this is a PC. So look, I'll create this small LAN here. What I'm going to do is, if you want a sticky note, look, I went on the top above physical, I clicked on this rectangle and I can paste. So we are going to use given IP address of, let's say, 10.1.1.1 to this guy and /24, which means 255.255.255.0. And if you don't understand this, don't worry. I'll explain you everything, right? In detail. And to the switch, we can give 10.1.1.2 maybe and /24, right? And its default gateway also we'll give, right? DFA gateway. Okay, I'll tell you about that. And to the PC, I'm going to give 10.1.1.3, this guy, /24. And I'll explain what /24 is, right? It's known as the prefix mask. And to this PC, we'll give 10.1.1.4. Is that okay? Like this. So, but this we have given above. Now let me start configuring the device. So I'm going to click on this device. Can you see the red thing? Red means the port is shut down. All the ports on the routers, when you buy it from the factory, when on default settings, they are disabled, right? So we got to enable it, right? So therefore, the switch port is also red, right? Red. Look at the symbol. Green is always good, right? So look, these switch ports are enabled by default, right? So the moment you connect a PC to the switch port, both of them become operational, right? This port becomes operational. Likewise, this one also, the third port on the switch is operational, right? But as long as you don't enable this port, it is disabled, right? Once you enable this port, both of them will become green, right? So how do we do that? And we'll have to give an IP address of 10.1.1.1 and this subnet mask on this interface, and this IP address and subnet mask to the switch, and this IP address and subnet mask to the PCs. So it's very easy, guys. Just click on the router and go on CLI command line interface, right? So what happened is it started booting actually, and I'll explain all the details later on, right? Right now, let's go ahead. So it came here. It says, now this is booted up on the setup mode, right? I'll explain you everything later on. Just a beginning today, right? Without much of explanations. And it says, would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog? Yes or no, right? The default answers are given here. We have to select one. So for now, I'll say no. I don't want to get into setup mode, right? System config dialog. And here I am. It says press return to get started. So this is the name of the router. This is the first mode of the router. This is known as the user mode, right? User mode. If you don't know what to do, press shift and question mark, right? I just typed a question mark here. And from A to Z, it is displaying some commands here, right? This is one command, and this is what the command does. This is one more command, and this is what that command does. We may not be able to understand all the commands. We don't need to, right? And this is one more command, and this is what the command does. So commands here from A to Z and what the commands do. So we know that Cisco has told us from user mode. This is the first mode. This is known as the user mode. How does it look like? Right arrow or greater than symbol, correct? And we have to give a command here, enable. So look, I'm going to type here enable, right? ENA tab. If I press tab button, it will complete. But if I press here E, it says ambiguous command. Why? Because from the user mode, there is more than one command which begins with E. So it's iOS, right? iOS means it's a machine, Internet Network Operating System. The OS is not understanding. It says which one, this one or that one. I didn't understand. So we have to make him understand. So that means we can make it a unique command. If I type en enter, then also it will execute, right? We want to go to the next mode by giving enable command, right? So if I type E, it doesn't work. So if I type here en, it knows what to do. It will take me to the next mode, which is known as the privileged mode, or also known as enabled mode, right? So I'm going to press en, and now I'm just going to press tab button. Look, I'm going to press tab. So it will complete, right? Look at this, enable. So normally I don't even press tab. En is also okay, right? En. But if you want, you can type or just press tab, enable. So look, I gave a command from the user mode, enable, first command. So it took me to the privilege mode, next mode. which looks like a hash, right? Now, what to do? Again, a question mark, right? So many commands beginning from A to Z. Look at this and more, dash, dash, more. That means there are more commands, right? Followed by this, right? So if you want to look at those commands, keep on pressing enter, 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 enter. So one command, one line, right? Line by line, one command, it will keep on displaying. Okay. So enter, enter, one line, one command. But if I don't want to see further commands, I can press tab. Look, it has broken it, right? Didn't show me further commands. Got it? Okay. Once again, shift question mark, right? So question mark, A to Z. So enter, enter, one line, one command. It will keep on displaying, right? But if I press tab, it will break it, right? It will not show me any further commands. And if I press space bar, then whatever remaining commands were left, it showed me that. Now in this case, 4 or 5 commands were only left. But had there been 100 commands left, right, to display, and assuming here on the screen it displays only 15 lines, 15 commands, assuming, then I would have pressed that space bar multiple times, right? 4 or 5 times to show me, let's say 15 into, right, at least 5, 6, 7, 8 times, right? Then it would have shown me command by command, command by command. Yeah, something like this. Okay. So now look, we are at the privilege mode. Now, if I want to go to the next mode, that is known as the global mode or config mode. So we are going to give a command configure CONF. So it completes configure. If you type CON, I press tab after that, right? After CON, it won't do anything. But after CONF, it will complete the command. See, after CON, it doesn't show me. Why? Because there are more than one command that begin with CON, right? So if I just make it CONF, and if I press tab, it will complete configure. Even if I don't press tab, conf, and I know what. After this, there's only one command, terminal. What does it do? It will configure from the terminal. Okay. So now configure terminal. So now I'm at the global mode. Easy, guys. If you want to give a host name, type here HO tab. And I want to give a host name of, let's say, monkey, right? So I have given a host name. Simple, anybody can do this. Host name as monkey, right? If I want to change it, I can press up arrow, which is the previous command, and I can make it, right? I can change the host name of the device, right? The default name was router. You want to give some name, you can give it, right? Monkey, donkey, whatever. But I want to again change it to, I want to make it R1, right? Capital R1. So my router's name is now R1. Is that okay? Now, okay, this is how we are going to begin, right? So look, this is how we are going to begin. So now look, this has got gigabit 0000001 002 3 physical ports on the router and one logical port, VLAN one, virtual LAN. We'll talk of that later on, right? So if I click on the router, look, I go on the physical here on the left. So look, zoom in. This is one side of the router. This is another side of the router, right? This is on off button power, right? And this is the electrical cable, right? And we have some LEDs here and we have some ports here, right? These are coming from the factory. Look, this is a modular router. Why? Because we have 2 slots here. Can you see that? It's very small, written in very small thing. NM1, NM1, NM2, network module 1, network. So I can insert my 4 fingers in this, right? Slot. Dust will keep on going inside. So if you want to cover it, look, I am going on the top left here and I am cover, right? If I click on and I am cover, here on the bottom, see it's a cover. It describes here, network interface module cover plate. So if you put this with the screw, right, dust will not go inside. It's modular, but you can put in more ports, right? Earlier, the first one selected was NIM2T. What is this 2T? Look at this down below. Network interface module 2T means 2 synchronous serial ports. This is out of syllabus, right? Don't worry. We have 2 serial ports here. Look, I'm going to drag and drop it. Got it? But it says you have to turn off the power. Otherwise, you cannot add or remove ports, right, from the module. Cannot add a module when the power is on. Okay. So I'll go here and click on this. So now I have powered off the router. Now I can go and drag and drop it here. Now we have to turn the power on, right? So now go on CLI. See again, it has started booting up, right? Okay. We have turned the power off. So many more things will keep on coming, don't worry. But now look, if I just go on the router and keep my cursor there, now do you see? What do you see? We have added two serial ports, right? 0, 1, 0, and 0, 1, 1. So two ports, right? The gigabit 3 were already there, physical. Now look at what it says, serial 0, 1, 0, right? And serial 0, 1, 1. So what does it mean? Look at the one in between the two slash. That is the first slot. Got it? Look at this. This is the first slot. This is the second slot. So now if I again, did you see that? What does it say? Serial 0, 1, 0 and 0, 1, 1. So both the ports, the first and third, 0, 0 and 0, 1, are in slot number 1. Got it? So this is slot number 1. So we added two ports in this slot. But now we added two ports. They are 60 pin, very old now. Nobody uses. Actually, a cable will from here, it will go to the ISP, right? It used to go in the olden days to the service provider. And we used to configure a lease line, right? From here to maybe head office and branch office and whatever, right? One more lease line could have gone to Germany, one could have gone to London, whatever. And now I'm going to turn this off. Now look, I'm going to drag and drop this from there to here. Does it go? Okay, I'll try and drag it there. Now I'll drag it here. Okay, so now look, what's the difference? Right, I'll turn on the router and it will start again booting up. Okay, I'll explain you all these things later on. Look, now observe the difference. Now we have added two serial ports, but they are in network module 2. So the 2 in between the slash 0, 2, 0. Look at the serial ports down below and 0, 2, 1. Understand? Slot number 1, slot number 2, right? It's a modular one. You can keep on adding ports in the slots, right? Something like this. Now again, let me go on the physical. Zoom in and turn off the... I don't want serial ports, right? I don't want serial ports because nobody in the world is using these old serial ports, and I'll give you more detail about this. But I want maybe 4 Ethernet ports, right? So NIM2T, 2 serial ports. Look at it down below also, right? This is the cover. So if you put the cover, dust will not go inside, right? But I don't want the cover also, right? And I want, this is what NIM Ethernet switch, 2 to 4 ports. I'm going to click here. So now down below, we can see Ethernet 2 to 4 provides 4 switch ports, right? So I'm going to drag this and put it maybe here. And I want to remove this, right? So now I put it in module number 2, right? And I am 2. So let's go and have a look. Now we have 4 more Ethernet ports. Look at this gigabit Ethernet down below, right? 0, 2, 0, 0, 2, 1, 0, 2, 2, 0, 2. So we added 4 ports in module in slot number 2. Got it? So the first 3 ports, gigabit 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, and 0, 0, 2, they are fixed. They come from the factory only, right? So where is it? I'll go here and look at this. Zoom in. Look at this. These are the 3 Ethernet ports here, right? Somewhere here. The green ones, right? Something like this. These are the 3 Ethernet ports. And look at this. We have a console port here. Can you see this in the blue small one? It's written console. So that's a management port. If you want to configure this device, we'll take a laptop. We'll connect a cable in between my laptop and this router's console port, this one. And we'll start configuring our router or switch, right? Console port is management port. And now if this fails, there's a hardware issue. We have one more. This is, see that RJ45, right? We can use this connector also, right? This is RJ45 connector, or we can use this one and start configuring from here also. If both of them, there's a hardware problem, we can use this third one, AUX port, known as auxiliary port, okay? So this is used for configuring your devices. And these are your Ethernet ports, right? One of the ports can go to the ISP also, service provider also. And one of the Ethernet ports can go to switch in the LAN, right? And we have 4 more ports. We can add more ports here, right? If you want more ports, right, I'm going to take 4 more Ethernet ports and going to add it here, right? And now I'm going to turn on the router. The CLI you go, it will start booting up. I'll show you that later on. And look now. So we already had gigabit 000, right? What's up? Why is it happening like this? Okay, so it's not showing me here. Anyway, let me go and click on the router, and I'm going to press enter, 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 enter. So no, I don't want to get into setup mode. User mode, enable. Privilege mode, configure terminal. Then we go to the global mode. Host name, how does the global mode look like? This is known as the global mode or the config mode, right? You can call it anyway, right? And we give a host name, and I want to say R1, right? So this is it. Now I can type interface gigabit 000, right? Because that was a port, right? Interface gigabit 000. If you want to have a look at which ports do show IP interface brief, you can give this command on the router. Then it will tell you do show IP interface brief, right? It will tell you we got how many ports, gigabit 000, right? Look, all these ports are shut down, right? Administratively down and down. So they are disabled, right? And we have added more switch ports. They are not disabled by default, but they are up and down. I'll explain you the meaning of up and down, this status and protocol, right? This is physical layer status, and protocol means data link layer, right? I'll explain all these things, don't worry. These 3 ports are shut down by default from the factory, and the other 3 are switch ports. So switch ports are enabled by default. See, we added all these things, right? 8 ports. You can remove them also, right? And there's a virtual LAN, VLAN 1 also. This is also disabled. And we have not given any IP address to any of the ports. I connected this one to the switch port, right? So I want to enable this port, gigabit 000, and give 10.1.1 as IP address. And also this should be up and up in the status and protocol, right? So what do? I am already from the global mode. I selected the port gigabit 000. So we are under the interface mode, right? So I'll say no shutdown. No shut also works, right? Now look, physical layer has come up. Data link layer also has come up, right? And now if you want to give an IP address, so we can give, what do you want to give? Let's say 10.1.1.1, simple. And let's say a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, whatever, right? Just an example. So don't worry if you don't understand what is this 10.1.1.1 and what is this 255.255. I'll explain you later on. This is known as the IP address. Of course, we are talking about version 4. And this is known as a subnet mask. Okay. Now, if you have a look at do show IP interface brief, you want to check. What do? That's the command. Show IP interface brief or do show IP interface brief. Now look, to gigabit 000, we have 10.1.1.1, and this is up and up. See, which means what? Now data can be sent and received from this port. Okay, this is how this is just a basic introduction, right? How we enable a port and give an IP address. That's it. And the basic user mode, privilege mode, global mode, right? And you come on the switch, and we click here on CLI, and we say here enable. Again, configure terminal. Conf is also okay. If you want to give a hostname, I'll give capital SW1, right? So the host name is now switch 1. Default name of the switch is switch only, right? We have changed it to switch 1. And now do show IP interface brief. Look, this switch has got so many ports. It has got all 100 Mbps, fast Ethernet 0/1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 11, 12, blah, blah, 20, 20, 20, 20, 24. 24 fast Ethernet ports and 2 gigabit Ethernet ports. See that? Right? And 1 logical port, VLAN 1, virtual LAN. We'll talk of this later on. This is the management port, right? So if you go here, Look at this, zoom in. This is one side of the switch. This is another side of the switch, right? It's a box, but both the sides they have shown here. This one side, we have this electrical wire here, and we have a console port behind. But maybe this is the front. So you can see the Cisco logo here and some LEDs and fast Ethernet 24 port and 2 gigabit. So fast Ethernet 0/1 port, F0/2 port, F0/3 port. The F means fast Ethernet. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 12 and 12, 24, right? 13, 14, like that's 24. And this is gigabit 0/1, 0/2, something like this. Okay. So these are the 24 ports, gigabit Ethernet 0/1, 0/2. So we have, see, this is a layer 2 switch. So these are all layer 2 ports. So I'll tell you that later on, explain it. But we cannot give IP addresses to every port. Like on a router, to every physical port, we can give IP address. Unlike a router, this is a switch. So whole box, only one IP address. That too to this logical port, right? This is interface VLAN 1 by default, right? We give an IP address to this guy. IP address, let's say 10.1.1.2, and the subnet mask of 22255.0. And finally, we'll say no shut. Why? Because this is shut down from the factory only. Administratively down and down, right? I just call it AD&D, administratively down and down. This is status and this is protocol, right? This is status, that is protocol. This is layer 1 of OSI reference model physical layer, and this is signaling data link layer, right? Okay, both of them should be up and up. No shut. Now look, physical layer has come up. Data link layer, line protocol means data link layer also has come up. So now if you go and see, do show IP interface brief. So look at this. VLAN 1 is now up and up. Okay. So we have given an IP address to this box 10.1.2. And let's go on the PC and let's give 10.1.3 here. Go on desktop. Go on IP configuration. Right, and click. It's already on static. So we'll give 10.1.1.3 and subnet mask of maybe. We are just taking it randomly, right? I'm just taking it. It's not a hard and fast rule to take this. And look, what will be the default gateway of the switch? It will be this router's interface, because presume the other port is connected towards the internet, gone towards the ISP. It is connected to the ISP's router. Okay. So that address will be a different one, different network or subnet. That will be provided by the service provider only, right? Once we take some kind of a WAN connection and pay some money, the ISP will give us some public or registered IP address, which will give it on the other port, right? Which is connected to the ISP's router. These are all private addresses. Don't worry. We'll talk of IP addressing and private and public and NAT/PAT and access controls later on. So I'm giving a default gateway of, it should be the router. That means if I want to send packet to the internet or to some other network, which is beyond this guy will have to send it to the router. So if this guy, we are in 10 dot network, right? If this guy pings or sends packet to somebody who's in 20 network or 30 network or 100 dot something, 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 or 200 dot something, something. So that means that's a different network, right? Destination. So I need to send it to my default gateway, which is what? Again, this router's interface IP address, which is what? 10.1.1.1. Got it? So what will be the default gateway of the PC? It will be 10.1.1.1. Is this concept clear, guys? But it will not be the switches IP address, not 10.1.2, because it has to be a layer 3 device, right? Router. And I'll tell you the differences between router and switch and collision domains and broadcast domains. So many things we are going to cover in this topic, right? Access control list and NATing, patting, so many labs, and DHCP and NTP and syslogs and TFTP servers and whatnot. How to take a backup from our routers of the running config and startup config and the operating system on an external server known as FTP or TFTP, and we'll do it slowly and steadily, right? You will be able to understand everything. The only thing is just relax, be with me, and keep on asking questions if you don't understand anything. We are there to help you. We'll repeat whatever you want, okay? And of course, you'll be getting the recording also. So in case you miss the class, nothing to worry, right? The recordings will be there, but you should immediately go through the recording before you attend the next batch, right? Okay, now if I want to give an IP address to this guy, look, right now there's nothing, right? and we gave some address to this guy, right? So if I just leave my mouse cursor on the that PC, it tells me, okay, 10113/24, that address we have given. And the default gateway is down below on the left, right? 10.1.1. So we'll give this guy 10.1.4, right? As planned. Let's go on desktop and come on IP configuration, and we'll give 10.1.1.4 here, right? And again, subnet mask, what we gave on the routers interface, the same one, and the default gateway will be again the routers interface, right? 10.1.1.1. Okay. Now we have given the addresses, right? 10.1.1, 10.1.2, 10.1.3, 10.1.4. Okay. Now let me ping from this guy to the other devices, right? The router 10.1, the switch 10.1.2, and this PC. Let's go on the PC and let me close this and let me go on this one, command prompt, right? Run. So click here. So now I can ping 10.1.1.1. Ping means, right, we all know this. Do we have connectivity with the router? That's my default gateway, right? So if I see something like this, it has sent, PC sent 4 packets, right? I sent 4 packets, and right, TTL is time to leave, right? So if I see I sent 4 packets, I received 4 packets, I lost none. So that means connectivity is there. If I even if I get 1 packet response back and I don't get the reply back for 3 packets, even then the connectivity is there, nothing to worry, right? Okay. So now if I ping up arrow, the switch, which is 10.1.2, can I ping the switch? It will take some time. Look, first packet it sent, the reply didn't come back. But second packet the PC sent to the switch, reply came back. Third packet also reply came back. Fourth also reply came back, right? Packet sent 4 from the PC to the switch, received reply back only for 3, lost 1 packet, right? So 25 loss. What happened? Why was the first packet? Why did the switch not reply for the first packet? Because when you ping, the ping packet, you know what ping is used for, right? Who can tell me, right? What is ping used for, guys? Everybody knows this? Ping is used for what? Yes. Who can answer? Very easy. Yes,
To
guys.
access the data.
Okay, Vinayak. Well tried, but that's not correct. So, yes. Anybody else? What is ping? Why did we ping? What is the meaning of ping? What are we trying to achieve? What does it do? Well tried, Vinayak. I am good. I appreciate your quick response.
Yeah. Or else to fetch the data.
To fetch data. Not again. See, this is learning process. Nothing to worry. डरना क्या है, right? Nothing to be afraid of here. This is learning process. But in the exam or interview, we should be able to give the right answers, isn't it? Here it's all okay between you and me. We are all, it's a friendly class going on, right? Just transferring knowledge from here to there. It's nothing to worry. So it's good to fail actually, right? Can you believe this? It's good to fail in the exam also. You will say, what nonsense, man. But yeah, so you get more experience. Okay. Yeah, Shishir says I use it. Heartbeat. Check the device availability. Okay, yeah. That means it says to find out whether connectivity is there or not. Got it? Between both the devices. Okay. So if I ping some other remote device or my neighboring device, or from India, I can ping my head office. Say I am the head office in India. We have branches in USA, Australia, Canada, wherever, Hong Kong, Singapore, right? We have branches there scattered worldwide. Or we have branches in India also, right? Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad, Calcutta, Madras, right? Whatever. Calcutta, Delhi, Bangalore, whatever. So from one branch, I can ping a device. I want to find out connectivity. So I ping, right? If the response comes back, that means connectivity is there. If the response doesn't come back, that means there is no connectivity, right? So if I ping 10.1.1. Maybe 200, so there's no device in our this simulated LAN, right? There's no device only here. So what will happen? So obviously, I won't get the reply back. So it says request timed out, pinging that other device. There's no device only actually, right? So where will it go? that other device will not reply back. So all loss is 100%, right? I sent 4 packets, received none. I lost all the 4 packets because there's no device who can reply with the address of 10.1.1.200. But what happened with the switch, right? Why did it not reply the first packet? So ping actually is used to find out connectivity between any device, right? Me and that destination port. Ping, what's the full form of ping? Packet Internet Groper of OSI reference model. Where does ping come? We'll talk of this OSI reference model also, right? Everybody must be knowing it. But in case somebody is non-technical, then also don't worry. I'll explain that in detail. It comes on network layer, right? Ping, Packet Internet Groper. That's the full form. Which protocol does ping use? It uses ICMP, right? Okay. Don't worry. These are all basic tidbits and bits. So, right. So I ping stands for Packet Internet Groper. It comes on layer 3, network layer, used to find out connectivity between the two devices, right? And it uses ICMP protocol, Internet Control Messaging Protocol. In the books, you'll find all theory, right? And yeah, it comes on layer 3. Okay. So ICMP echo requests are sent and ICMP echo replies are received if the connectivity is there between the two. And there can be a cloud in between, and this can be the headquarters in India, and that can be the branch in maybe USA or whatever, right? So devices. We are talking about intra-network in this course. That means communication between head office and branch office, right? Intra-networks. Okay. So basically, we say it's like this. Hey man, I can see this green sort of lines on my packet here. How come these green lines are there? Can you see the green lines here on? Can you see?
Yeah, we
Man,
can
I
see.
can see. I don't know how it has come. I don't know. I'm trying to erase it. Will it go? It's not even going. What's the issue? Okay. So let me select the color. Okay. So this, it's gone now. So look, I'm drawing a tall network. What is this? This is, and I'm drawing some routers here. See, these round ones are routers, let us say, right? So we visualize our whole world, like the globe. Dunya goal hai, right? Round. And look, we have a headquarters router here, R1, let us say in Bangalore or wherever, and it is connected to switch. And this switch is connected to more switches. And we have end users connected here, or servers, or whatever, or access points, right? Or we have wireless LAN controllers connected, or we can have a firewall connected also, right? Okay. So now this is maybe headquarters in India, and we have, let's say, a branch in Hong Kong or Singapore, whatever, R2. So this is a building there, the router. Behind they have a LAN here, right? These ports, switches may have 12 port, 24 ports, 48 ports, whatever, n number of ports, right? And we have end users. The line means they are laptops or desktops or whatever, right? Or servers connected, right? Mostly end users. Okay. So look, this can be in India, right? Let's say Bangalore, and this can be in Hong Kong or wherever, or London or whatever, Australia, whatever. So now we require connectivity between the head office and branch office, right? For that, what we do, we walk into the ISP's office, right, nearest. Everybody knows ISP, right? Internet Service Provider. So
Yes.
these are the different service providers, right? Maybe in different countries, in different continents, but they have their own connectivity. We are not getting into this cloud. What I'm going to do basically is walk into this office and tell them, hello, my name is Dhananjay and I'm from this company and we require connectivity, right? From here till maybe that branch in Hong Kong or London or whatever, right? So then it will ask me, okay, which technology? Hello guys, can you hear me? Anybody here?
Yeah.
Oh, I got scared. Whether I lost the connection or what. Okay. Rarely it happens. Sometimes, right? For a minute or two, during the whole course, it may happen once or twice. And maybe for a couple of minutes, I may lose connection, though it's a good Airtel one, not a local one, even then. Okay, so where am I? So my notepad is here, right? Oh man, that green thing has again popped up, the two lines. I don't know why. Okay. So here we go. So this is all the connection of between the ISPs. They have their own network. What I do is I walk into the ISP's office, give them the money, and we tell them, okay, we want some kind of connection. So what it will ask me, okay, which connection? In the olden days, we used to configure leased lines. But for that, we had serial ports, right? We took the two serial ports, which has got 60 pins and which is not used today in the world by anybody, right? So these were serial ports, and the encapsulation was HDLC. It's all out of syllabus, right? Don't worry, high level data link control. But instead of that, today we are going to use Ethernet ports. Ethernet means 10 Mbps. Everybody knows when I say Ethernet, it is generic. Actually, it may be a fast Ethernet port, right? Which means 100 Mbps. Or it may be a gigabit Ethernet port, like we have gigabit on the router. See that? So that is 1000 Mbps, right? Or 1 gig. Or it may be 10 gig, right? Whatever. Or 40 gig or 100 gig, whatever. So in our case, we had gigabit 0/0/0 port connected to the ISP, let's say. Just an example. And then we'll tell him, okay, we wanted lease line or in the olden days, right? But we are not going to use it today. Or in the olden days, we used to configure frame relay, right? That is also not in the course. That was known as non-broadcast multi-access technology of frame relay. Permanent virtual circuits were created between the head office and branch office, right? Like this. And voice data video was sent over the circuits. But anyway, that is also not there. Today we may use, right? If you have an internet connection, we can use VPN connections, right? Through internet, right? Or you may use metro Ethernet. If both the head office and branches are in the same metro, then we may use metro Ethernet technology. Or you may use today SD-WANs. We may also use SD-WAN. So we'll tell SD-WAN is not in the course, but we'll talk of that a little bit in the course. Or we may use some kind of a Ethernet technology, right? Maybe to connect between head office and branch office. Okay. So maybe we can use MPLS VPNs, right? Multi-protocol label switching VPNs, right? Okay. So we'll look at this WAN technologies later on, but some kind of a technology. Then we give them the money. This guy will dig the road and bring the cable till our router here. It will be connected. We got to configure, connect all this. We have to make our LAN, connect the router to the ISP's, right? Router, the cable will come from the ISP. They'll dig the road perhaps and bring it. If it's cabled, it will be a earlier it was copper cables, today it may be a fiber optic cables, or it can be wireless connection, it can be satellite connection, it can be 3G, 4G, right? Long-term evolution, so many choices for WAN, right? And then finally, this ISP will tell the other ISP, right? It will give us some public addresses, right? These public addresses will put it here. Let's say it has given us 100.1.1.1. Now this ISP will talk to some other ISP in some other country, and that guy is going to dig the road and take the cable till the router there, right? And of course, one more public address will be given to us. We'll put it here. Maybe it is 200.1.1.1, something like this. We'll talk of all these things later on. And so we configure some kind of a WAN connectivity, and end of the day, ISP will do its job. I will do my job. And when, let us say, this branch office guy wants to, let us say we have a FTP server here in the head office. We have a file transfer protocol, FTP server here, right? So he wants to upload, download files on this server, right? In the head office. So here. So the data will be going like this, right? All the way from one country, right? And it will go read the router, it will pass on to the switch, and switch will pass on to the server and all those things, right? Then what is this then? These are different ISPs routers, right? And there are different ISPs. We know how the world is, right? How the world. We have different continents around the world, like Asia and Europe and, right, US and Australia. And in between, we have all water, right? So under the sea, cables have gone from one ISP from one country to maybe another ISP in maybe another country or continent, right? Like this. the cables are going undersea. So if you just want a trailer of that, you get the bigger picture, right? From one side of the planet to another side of the planet, right? All the data will go maybe undersea or even through satellite, whatever, right? Oh, sorry. I should be, I should be here. One second, guys. Okay, it's here. Sorry, I was searching the folder, guys. Okay, look at this, guys. So you get the bigger picture? This is it. See that? Undersea cables, right? All going, all fiber optic. They're submersible cables, right? Mostly fiber optic. So below the water, right? From one country to another country or one continent to another continent, right? And we know fiber optic cables, right? They can go to long distance, 100 kilometers and this and that, right? Look at this. So they get damaged maybe by sharks or when anchors are dropped down, right? Then what happens? We have this big, right? ISPs have this all over the world. The companies don't do it, right? We are working in company, we don't do it. But if there's damage, right, they will take this. This is a repairing ship, right? They will detect where the cable damage is. They'll look. We can see a human being also gone down, right? And he's going to lift up the cable and bring it in the sea, and they are going to repair it. Got it? Inside the sea, this is what happens. So look at these fiber optic cables, right? We know fiber optics are very fast. Look at this, the whole world, right? The white is all water. Can you see the red cables, right, between Japan and the United States, right, or here? So these are all red cables, right, between the US and other continents, right, Africa or China, Japan, whatever. These are all cables which are gone underground. Okay. So this is how the big picture is. And now after the big picture, this is our overview, right? But we'll get into the details of how exactly communication happens between two devices. We have so many topics to take up, right? We'll take up basics. We'll look at cables and topology and protocol and whatnot. Hey guys, I didn't this green lines. I don't know how they have popped up, and I have an eraser here. If I am trying to erase it, then also it's not being erased. I don't know what to do. Why it is there? Okay, so maybe I can. If I'm changing the page, then also it doesn't go. I hope when I close down this, what do you call that? OneNote. I hope it will disappear. Or let me try and, I don't know what to do with this. OneNote. Oh man, it's still there. You guys can see these green lines? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is this? I don't know. Okay, we'll work it out. I thought it will go away. I mean, but maybe on one page. Okay, so if yeah, yes, guys, any doubts, any questions, please ask. So we have the TOC downloaded, right? I'll share that in our chat, WhatsApp, sorry. Where's the Word file? Let me show you. We have seen the contents now, right? Now what I'll do is I'll just go and share this with you guys. Is that okay? So you have all these topics that we are going to take up, but this is from Cisco, right? Directly. So you have this, you can go on Google also and download this. I showed you this, right? But I will share my sequence, right? More topics will be same, but the sequence will be different, right? So what we can do is sequence, CCNA TOC and sequence. Okay, so look, this is what we are going to do. So I showed you the big picture, the tall network undersea, right? So how the communication happens, and then we'll take up this intro to packet tracer. We already started a little bit, right? Tomorrow we'll take up more. I'll show you more commands and we'll talk of topology, what is it, and we'll discuss different kinds of topology and protocols like RR, DNS, DHCP, right? We'll look at all these things, BootP. We'll look at cables, right? What are different kinds of cables, copper and fiber optic and even wireless we'll do later on. But in the copper only, what is a rollover cable? What's a crossover? What's a right, straight through cable? Where to connect it? How does it look, right? All the purpose. and we'll look at structure of IP addressing and MAC address. All these many small things we'll cover, right? How to check, how to give an IP address on the PC, right? How to verify what IP address I have, right? And then how communication happens between two devices. We'll take a switch, and through that we'll look at the function of the switch also. Switch will be getting in detail later on, right? But we'll see how communication happens through a switch when both the devices are in the same LAN. Then we'll take two devices which are in the different network, right? So we'll see how they communicate with each other through a router, and then we'll take multiple routers and see how routers discover remote networks as a trailer. But actually, routing will come later on, right? After a month or so. And meanwhile, so this is going to be our sequence, right, guys? Then what Cisco wants us to do, will cover everything. Explain the role and function of network components. So what is the meaning of router, right? What does it do? What tables, what is a routing table and app table? And what is a layer 2 and layer 3 switch? What's the difference? What tables they maintain, right? How they forward frames or data? What is next generation firewalls and IPS, intrusion prevention systems? We are going to explore all these things, access points and controllers, right? And when we get into automation, we look at Cisco's DNA center, right? Also known as Cisco's Catalyst Center. And we'll also look at wireless LAN controller. We'll configure this also later on, not in the beginning, and endpoints and servers and power over Ethernet. We'll explore all these things. Likewise, we'll keep on going like this, right? Describe the characteristics of network topology architecture. What is this two-tier architecture? What is this three-tier architecture? What is the meaning of spine and leaf? Right? This architecture is used in data center. What does it look like? What is the purpose? Right? Advantages, all these things. And WAN, we look at explore some WAN technologies, right? And what is the meaning of small office, home office, and on-premise and cloud? All this sequence. Then we look at the frame format, right? So what is the meaning of source and destination ports? Many things, man, thousands of things, right? We'll look at the cables and all this, explore. So we'll keep on going like this, right? Compare what is TCP and UDP, right? We'll look at all the differences, and we'll do TCP and OSI reference model, right? We'll explore this also. Open systems interconnection. Most of you all must be knowing all these things, but we'll just go through them, right? So what all devices, what are the 7 layers? What are the names of the layer? What are the sequence? What all devices come on which layer? Which protocols come on which layer? What is the function of each layer? Right? All these things will be keep on doing. Yeah. Yes. Shishir is asking previous configuration without IP configuration on the switch VLAN 1. We can also ping to router. Yes. Even if you don't give an IP address to the switch, the PC will still be able to ping the router. Not an issue, Shishir. Yeah. Okay. So we'll look at collision domains. What is collision domain? What's a broadcast domain? Right. And the differences between the hub and the bridge and the switch and the router. So many things Cisco has not mentioned, but we'll go even beyond our course and do many more things, right? Like for dynamic routing protocol, it is only OSPF that Cisco wants us to do. But I will give you more idea about RIP routing protocol and EIGRP also routing protocol. They are not in the exam, that they are not in the course, but in the real life, when you get a job, when you're working with a company, they may be running, if it's a small company, they may be running not OSPF in your company, but RIP in your company. Or if you have a big company, you're working in a big company, they may not necessarily be running OSPF. They may be running EIRP, but your course or exam says you should have knowledge only about OSPF, right? As per the course. But the companies, real life, they may be working on RIP or EIRP or OSPF, right? So we'll look at many routing protocols also, right? We'll go beyond the course and I'll try and give you a little bit more idea, right? Is this okay, guys? Everybody? Yes? Any questions, any doubts? Anybody? So please talk to me, right? Because I don't know whether, yes, I hope I am reaching you guys and you are attentive and you are attending and listening to me. Yes or no? Yes? Anybody there? Shishir, Venki, Lenovo? Yeah? Jesse? All okay? Yes or no? I need some feedback, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Vinayak. Thank you. Yes, of course, there are many more guys here, but okay. So this is the sequence that we are going to follow, right? Any questions, any doubts? Okay. So yes, Shishir is chatting. Okay, good, Shishir. Thank you for your response. Okay. So got some idea about Now I'll tell you what it is. Why the switch did not reply the first packet. Right. So tomorrow we'll take up more details, right? There's something known as ARP. Yes, everybody knows ARP, address resolution protocol, right? We'll look at RARP tomorrow, and DHCP and BootP and proxy ARP and many protocols, right? But what is it? In a LAN, every device maintains an ARP table, right? In a LAN, every device will maintain an ARP table. Okay. So these are connected to maybe the switch. It will also maintain an ARP table, right? They are connected to router. So this goes towards the ISP, right? So this will also maintain an ARP table. This guy is going to maintain a routing table also. This switch is going to maintain ARP table as well as MAC address table. We'll explore all these things, right? MAC address table. Okay. So what is this ARP? What do they maintain in the ARP? Tomorrow I'll give you more details, right? Because I'll have to bring in then DHCP server. I don't see a lot of time today. And I'll bring in a DNS server and we'll explain what is DNS and DHCP. Actually, DHCP server, everybody knows its job. Somebody must have created a pool here with hundreds and thousands of addresses. And when the devices boot up, right, it will send a DHCP broadcast. Hello, this is my MAC address. Somebody assign me an IP address, right? So we'll talk of unicast and multicast and broadcast. So, right, what will happen is the broadcast will come on this port and this will look at the broadcast and it will make a Xerox copy and give it to everybody. Got it? Whoever there, right? It'll go to this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, everybody. It will go here, it will go there, there. Assuming there are end users here, right? So, but whose job is it to assign? DHCP servers. So this guy will assign. The PC said, hello, this is my MAC address, right? Something like this. Now, MAC address is something like this, right? We'll talk of that later on. Maybe something like the 2S, FC. I'm just writing it randomly, right? CB19, whatever. This is something like a MAC address reply, looks like. And we'll talk of the MAC address. Everybody knows how long is a MAC address, guys? Yeah? Who can tell me? How long is a MAC address? And is it in decimal or binary or hexadecimal? Yeah. Yes. I love to hear your responses. Right or wrong, doesn't make any difference. Yes. Who replied something? Just say. Did you? Guys, everybody understands Hindi, English here. Anybody who doesn't understand Hindi at all? हिंदी समझता है कि नहीं समझता है? शिशिर, Jesse, Venki. Of course, officially we'll be talking only in English, right? We are supposed to, our official language is only English. But just in case 1% here and there, right? If anybody, yes. So, yeah, Venki says, yes, he understands Hindi. Anybody who doesn't understand Hindi at all, then I will not utter anything in Hindi if anybody says. But if you are not responding, yes, guys, अरे हिंदी समझता है कि नहीं? Everybody. किसको नहीं समझता? Who doesn't
No,
understand? Yeah.
I can't.
Oh, very good. I was waiting for response. So Jesse, okay, good. Sorry. Tomorrow you come with the right name. Okay. So
No,
no
no,
problem. No
okay,
problem.
okay.
So anyway, it's our primary right medium of instruction is only English. So look,
Yeah.
what happens is every device maintains ARP table, right? So this guy first, he booted up, came to the office at 9 o'clock in the morning, and he said, hello. It automatically, because OS is installed, let's say Windows and TCP IP, right? We'll talk of all these things. So it sent a broadcast setting. Hello, this is my MAC address. I'm just writing in short, right? I'm not writing all, just a symbolic, right? Like this, assuming it was all just an example, right? Small one. So I'm just writing one part of it, assuming this is the MAC address. Hello, this is my MAC address. Can somebody assign me an IP address? So it's a broadcast. Broadcast means I'll give you more details later on tomorrow. It will go to everybody. Everybody will say, this is not my job to assign you an IP address. It's the job of this guy. When it comes here, you'll say, okay, I'll assign you, right? So let me give you, let's say 10.1.1.3, something like this. It will also assign some subnet mask and the default gateway, and details we'll talk later on. So, and later on what happens is This guy told him your default gateway is what? This one, right? Router's port, which is 10.1.1.1. Got? So he knows his default gateway is 10.1.1. Supposing he wants to communicate with somebody else beyond this network, right? Not in this network, but somebody beyond this network, maybe in the branch or internet, whatever. Then he knows I need to send my packet to my default gateway, right? So when he sends a packet, somebody, supposing he wants to go on internet and communicate with 205.6.7.9, some kind of a web server, whatever, right? So then when he sends a packet, what will be the source IP address? 10.1.1.3. What will be the destination IP address? 205. Blah, blah, blah. What will be my source MAC address? It will be A. What will be my destination MAC address? Yeah. It will not be this guy's XXXX. Of course, X is not a MAC address, but it will be its default gateway's MAC address. That means, let us say, router's Ethernet port has got BBBB as a MAC address. It will be BBBB, right? And then, so what it will do is, if it needs to send to the router, 10.1.1.1, because it knows my default gateway is this. But I need that guy's MAC address. I don't know its MAC address. So what it will do is it will send an R broadcast. R broadcast is address resolution protocol. In it will say, hello, who is 10.1.1.1? Please send me your MAC address. That will be a R broadcast. Broadcast means again it will come on this port. And what the switch will do is, I'll give you more details later on. What the switch will do is broadcast. Again, send a copy to everybody because everybody is in VLAN 1. I'll explain that later on. It will go to everybody. They will say, I am not 10.1.1.1. I am not 10.1.1.1. It will come to the router here. It will look at the message and say, read that. What is it? Hello, who's 10.1.1? Send me your MAC address. So this guy's MAC address of this interface is BB. He will send a reply to this guy and he will store in its ARP table. In its ARP table, it will store 10.1.1.1, my default gateway, whose MAC address is BBBB. Got it? Likewise, all the devices in the network will maintain each other's IP and MAC in their own respective ARP tables. Got it? So what had happened when the PC had pinged the switch? This was 10.1.1.3. This was 10.1.1.2. When the first packet was sent, this guy got busy. Let's say this guy's MAC address is A and this guy's MAC address is B. The switch got busy making an entry in its ARP table that 10.1.1.3 is equal to BBBB. By then, the first packet got dropped. He couldn't reply. When the second packet came, he replied back. Third came, he replied back. Fourth came, he replied back. So here, first packet he didn't receive, but other three replies, he got it. Got it? Why? Because the switch got busy making entry in its ARP table. So every device will make an entry in its ARP table. So this guy will make 10.1.1.2 is equal to A, right? That is the switch in its ARP table. So rest, we can continue tomorrow, guys. I don't see a lot of time in the clock. But today I am just giving you some random sampling about the technology, right? But of course, we have started talking a little bit about something. Okay. So this is going to be a very fantastic course, right? Just relax, be with me, keep asking, right? And that's it.